Hello there and welcome back to Building with the Boys. It's time for our weekly catch-up. So the big news is that Alien is now live over on Hachette. So you can run on over to Hachette right now and subscribe to the Alien build. Now there is some things you need to know about this one. Much like what happened with Batman breaking from the traditional subscription model of one part per week per month and then 4 parts per month for subscribers, that's not what is happening with Alien. So the Hachette Alien is more akin to an Agora subscription. So the way this one works, it will not be available in shops. You cannot get this in stores. It is not getting a nationwide store release. You're not about to buy it in the supermarkets, newsagents, anything like that. The only way you can get the Alien is by subscribing. That's it. It is not available in stores. The other thing they're doing is, it is not 4 issues per month, it's not 6 issues per month, it's packs. They're selling in packs. So they are saying that the Alien is complete in 13 packs, and pack number 1 is the first one you'll get, and it's $24.99. So for $24.99, you get 4 parts. That's what you're getting. So in the first one, you get 4 parts. You get parts 1, 2, 3, and 4. After that, it's 12 monthly deliveries of 8 parts. And those are going to cost you the princely sum of $94.99 plus £5 postage. So it's going to cost you £100 a month if you want to build the Alien. So it's £100, well, $99.98 a month, and you will get 8 parts. So every month you will get 8 parts arrive, and then the Alien will be complete by this time next year. So you can subscribe now. Your first pack will arrive with you next month, so it'll arrive in April. And then you've got 12 after that, and you will have the Alien built. It comes with some weird free gifts. So you can get gift number 1 is a cutting mat, so you'll get a nice big cutting mat. Gift number 2 is a tin poster, so you get a tin poster. And gift number 3 is a little Alien, so you get a little version of the Alien. There are no magazines with this. Again, this is more like an Agora subscription. There are no magazines at all. What you will get is downloads. You will download the instructions. There's no binders, there's no magazines, nothing like that. This is what Hachette have chose to do. I don't know why, but it strikes me that they're preempting Agora, because I believe Agora are going to offer this, and it looks like the pack's already set up for Agora, and then it'll just switch over to them, because this reeks of an Agora subscription. It looks like an Agora subscription, but it's not. You're not going to get any magazines. There's no binders, nothing like that. You're going to get 8 parts a month to build the Alien. That's what you get. You can, like I said, you can run on over there right now and get it. I will put the link in the description below, but this is some glimpses of what you get, what it's going to look like, and what the build is. So there it is. That's the Alien. That's the Xenomorph, if you will. Now, I was already on the fence on this one about whether or not I was going to do it, and I was kind of leaning this way toward not, and then this has just made me go completely off the fence, because nah not for me. I don't like it. That's the way it is. I mean, I can sugarcoat it, but I'm not going to. I don't like the model. Just don't. In France, they are up to issue 99, so as of today, they have got 99 of these complete. So 1 away from finishing it, and I've seen nothing that makes me want it. So as of today's, they have completed all of the electrics that go in there. So it now does everything it does. The teeth moving it out way too slowly for me. It's got a feature where you and he looks to where you are, but he doesn't do that. He does this. And it takes an age to get to where it's going. And I'm like, all right, okay, it's not going to zip around. But I think the whole thing was like the commercial when they're doing it. Like he's like a room sentry, like he pounces on you. This thing's kind of like the world's slowest reactions. But I mean, that's a minor thing. Ultimately, the model, what's the model like? That's what I don't like. The amount of glue involved in this, honestly, get yourself some stocks and shares in Loctite, because you're going to need them. For me, it's just not there. I don't think I'd enjoy building it. Does it look good? Yeah, it looks all right. I mean, I'm not going to knock that. I think it looks decent, but I don't think I'd enjoy building it. I think it'd drive me nuts. I'm pretty sure I'd spend the rest of my years constantly gluing that skin back on. And I just don't want it. It's not for me. Look, if it's for you, rush out and get it. But for me, nah, it's not there. It's not one for me. Sticking with Hachette, I've been asked a couple times about Hachette's Dungeons and Dragons, which is supposed to be coming this year. Now, this is a weird one, right? I didn't really hype this when I first saw it sort of go around because it looked, I don't know. If you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, you'll get why this is weird, right? Because I found it odd. Like, we're doing a Dungeons and Dragons collection. I'm like, of what? Because this is the whole point of Dungeons and Dragons. There's nothing to collect. There's not, right? I mean, if you know how Dungeons and Dragons works, you know how the game plays, you don't need anything to play Dungeons and Dragons. You need one thing, right? So Dungeons and Dragons, the whole thing is you don't need a board. You don't need anything like that to play Dungeons and Dragons. It's a role-playing game where you take on the role of the characters. When you're playing it, you're in character. You play in character. That's what you do. And that's how it works. You have someone as your dungeon master who lays out the adventure for you. And then you and your buddies are the different roles of these parts. And the more you get into it, the more it's into it. You can feel like a bit of a dick when you first start playing it. And you're trying to tell people that you're a level 32 mage. It can get a bit hokey. But once you're into it, you're into it. If you're with a group of people that are into it, you're gonna have a blast, man. You're gonna have a lot of fun. So what do you collect? What do you collect? Do you know what I mean? There's nothing to really collect. Now you can play Dungeons and Dragons with miniatures, like the miniatures you get in Warhammer. But Dungeons and Dragons is not Warhammer. I can't stress that enough. It really isn't. It's a whole separate beast. Warhammer is tabletop gaming. Dungeons and Dragons is role-play gaming. It's a different beast. So what do you collect? Well, dice. That's what's on offer in the Hachette collection. Dice. A lot of dice, man. So that's what you're going to be getting. With each week, you're going to get some dice. So week 1, you get a tin with some dice in it. Week 2, you get a bag with some dice in it. Week 3, you get one giant dice. Week 4, you get some clear dice. Do you see where this is going? Dice is what you get. And if you don't believe me, here you go. Here's the first few issues. This is what you get. So dice. Now, don't get me wrong, they're lovely dice, and you do need dice for Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, you're going to need dice. And certain dice do certain things, and certain dice go with certain games, and so you're going to need some dice. But that's what you're getting, man. You're getting dice. You get some dice. There will be some miniatures thrown in and everything. There is, of course, as the premium option, when you go premium, you can get little miniatures. But you don't need them to play Dungeons and Dragons. There is no you just don't. And purists don't use miniatures to play Dungeons and Dragons. They don't. So what the actual appeal of this one is, and this is where I think this is going to be quite a hard sell for them, is the magazine. So what's probably the least appealing to the bulk of us when we make models through Hachette and places like that are the magazines, like whatever. And I mean, sometimes we read through them, sometimes it's interesting articles, sometimes it's a bit bland. But with the Dungeons and Dragons Adventures, that's what this is called through Hachette, the magazine is probably the biggest selling point of it, because what you're going to get in each of the magazines is an adventure. So where a dungeon master will map out an adventure for you, and this is what we're playing, and this is done. So you're going to get a game in the magazine. So each magazine is a whole adventure, is a whole game you can play with your buddies. So each one is a new adventure mapped out. That's what this is. And the dice that you get with the issue will be specific to that game, or the dice that you've built up to at that point will work with this game. I hope that makes sense. So the magazines are the collectible element of this one, because they have got that whole dungeon built into it, where it's like, okay, this is what's going to be. There's going to be the twists and turns and the traps, and this is what it is. So the magazine is a selling point. That's going to be weird, but that's what it is. Other than that, it's dice. Just an absolute, I was going to say a bad word then, an absolute ton of dice. Lots of them. I mean, honestly, just a ridiculous amount of dice. Just dice it up, man. Dice. Even the free gift. This one cracked me up. You get a free gift. Guess what you get? You get a key ring. Key ring of guess what? A dice. So dice, man. You could easily call it the Hachette dice collection, but it's Dungeons and Dragons, man. And with Dungeons and Dragons, there's dice. One of the free gifts is a dice tower. I'm not joking. But this isn't like a 100-issue run. It's not even an 80-issue run. This has been rumoured to be between 40 and 60 issues. So it's quite a low running collection. Apparently it is coming out this year. When, I don't know. I don't think it's going to come out to a lot of fanfare. I would imagine maybe they'll time it for the movie. But the movie's out, I think, next month. So it might be released around there to coincide with it. And they can basically piggyback off the marketing of the movie. But it's dice. So if you're getting excited about the Dungeons & Dragons collection, unless you want and need an absolute ton of dice, that's all it is. That's all it is. That said, the kid really likes Dungeons & Dragons. So we will pick it up. If it's available in stores, we'll definitely pick up the first one. And we'll see how that is. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's you've got to really like dice. To like this one, you've got to really like dice. And as I said, the Dungeons & Dragons movie is coming out. Why it isn't the movie based around the cartoon series, I don't know. I just think Hollywood just keep missing a trick with that one. Because if you're of a certain age, if you're my age, we all remember the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon fondly. We really do. It was a massive crossover thing at the time. Sort of, again, piggybacked on the hype of Dungeons & Dragons was a big deal back then. It still is now, but I mean, it was huge in the 80s. And that cartoon series, man, that grabbed everybody. And the most harrowing thing about that cartoon series, I don't know if you know this or not, just as some background, it was about a bunch of kids that go to a carnival and they see a Dungeons & Dragons ride, which is like a ghost train, and they get on it, the thing starts speeding up, and then a tunnel appears, and then they're in the realm of Dungeons & Dragons, and desperately trying to get back home. And like episode 1 is called The Night of No Tomorrow. The Night of No Tomorrow. How dark is that? But that's the 80s for you. They never filmed the final episode. That's the worst thing about this. There was no final episode. So in our reality, those kids never got home. And I mean, that's quite bleak. But then after growing up and becoming a parent, I think about it and think, God damn, imagine those kids' parents. Those kids' parents never knew what happened to their kids. You'd think the worst. And I mean, if this happened in the real world, there'd be some awful podcast right now about the cold case of the missing kids at the carnival. But no, they're fighting dragons and stuff and got pet unicorns. That's where they are. But those kids never got home. How depressing is that? Yeah. Anyway, moving on from that. So this week we did finish our book nooks. So there are 4 book nooks in the Rolife book nook collection. We have done all 4 now, and they are really rather lovely. But the one we finished this week was Secure Denture. It's a lovely thing, and it looks like this. Beautiful. Now, these are so much fun to build. If you haven't tried one of these yet, you got to try one. They're so much fun. And you can pick them up for between 20 to 40 quid. Don't pay 40 quid. You don't need to. These always have offers and vouchers on Amazon. Shop around there enough and you'll see one for a decent price. You'll be able to jump on it and get one. But they are so much fun to build, and they're just a nice, chill Sunday build. You can build the whole thing in one day, and it's just a blast, man. They look so nice when they're lit up on your own shelf. They're gorgeous. They're really nice. I would say they're going to go over here, but that's the other news we've got in the world of Building with the Boys. Building with the Boys is no more from here. We're not going anywhere. But from this room, from our little build room, we are moving. So we are moving address. So sadly, I'm going to be packing up my little build room and we're moving to... I've got another one, don't worry. Man cave is a must wherever I go. And we will be having a new one. But this will be one of the last from the cave here. And I'm a little bit emotional about it. I'm not going to lie. I've had some fantastic times in here. I really have. And it's going to be sad. Packing it up is going to be an absolute bloody nightmare. But it's going to be sad. It's going to be sad. The kids grew up here and we spent lockdown in this little room, and I had a lot of adventures, and I had a blast making these videos with all of you. And It'll all be the same, just a different background is what it's going to be. But if you're like me, you kind of hate it when your YouTuber changes their background, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're going somewhere new, so it'll look as similar to this as I can get it. I'm a creature of habit, so I need it to be as it was. But we are moving from here in about 3 weeks' time. So we've got a few more videos from here, but I got all that joy now of having to contact every company I've got a subscription model through and changing the address. And but you know, it's we're a growing family, so we need more space. So that's the way it is. That's the way it's got to be. It's got to be good. Other ones we've got coming up from Hachette. So we've got, not Hachette. Other builds we've got coming up. We've got another wooden model coming up, which is so cute that it'll make you want to throw up. It's that cute, but it's this one. So it's kind of like the book nooks, it's kind of like the little rooms, but this one's functional. You can hang your keys on it, which is fitting. We're going to a new place, and it'll be look nice. I can put that in the hallway and hang our keys on it. But that'll be coming up on the channel this week. We should have Titanic and Batman this week. I know that issue 4 of Batman is out in shops as of issue 6 of Batman is out in shops as of today. There's not a lot to it, but I know it's out. But ours have shipped, so I know the Tumblr and Titanic are heading this way, so they should be here any day now. They could be here tomorrow, Friday. At the latest, they're going to be here Monday of next week. So it's a bit of a wait and see on that one. I'll say this as well for this one. I know we get this very large piece of block in issue 5. And people freaked out about the cockpit and whatnot. But having seen 6, I don't think the cockpit goes where everyone thinks it goes. I think we should just sort of hang fire and see what happens on that one. And wait and see. That's the killer thing as well when it comes to Partworks. I say this all the time, and I can't say it enough. We are not the navigators of this journey. We are the drivers, right? So we drive. When these things turn up, we drive and we put them together. We're not the navigators. We don't choose where this is going. We just have to drive and trust. The navigators are the companies. So you do have to have some faith. When you see something you immediately don't like, it's like, okay, but let's wait and see. Let's wait and see where this goes before we start freaking and you know, taking a Dremel to everything and painting it and cutting it up. Let's wait and see where this goes and then make a decision on it. It's a bit like what happened with Titanic. There was this freaking out about light bleed. God, the light bleed's terrible, the light bleed's terrible. And then the last issue they gave us a light bleed fix. These go inside here and it blocks the light bleed out. I'm like, so we jumped the gun, and then it was the same with the tarpaulins on the lifeboats. It was, there's no tarpaulins on the lifeboats. And I'm like, let's just wait and see. And the tarpaulins turn up. So it's kind of like with Batman. Everyone's freaking out that you can't access the cockpit. And I'm like, well, let's just wait and see. No one said we can't access the cockpit yet. We're just assuming we can't access the cockpit yet. So let's wait and see. And maybe we can. And if we can't, then fine. But let's actually attach it all together before we you know start cutting things up would be what I'd advise. So those should be here this week. Another one I got to address quickly as well is the Hogwarts Express, because I saw again this evening. Hey, it's not Hogwarts Express. No, and I think it's safe to say the Hogwarts Express is pretty much dead in the water at this stage. I cannot see Hogwarts Express rearing its head anytime soon. I think we're going to have to wait for, I'd say, the fairly unfair storm that's surrounding J.K. Rowling to pass before you see a Hogwarts Express. I think too much has happened. And you can see it with the game. So the new Harry Potter game was released, and there was protests about the game, and there was because of all these terrible things she said. But you say to them, well, show me the terrible things she said. I can't. It's how she said it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not getting involved in that. But all I'm saying is, if you loved Harry Potter, nothing's changed. You can still love Harry Potter. But the daggers came out for it, and that's what happened. So companies, they're a bit squeamish about putting out Harry Potter products. Now, the game's different because the game has been in production for years. So the game was in production way before all this storm started. And what are they going to do? Just sack it off now? No, they've got to keep going, haven't they? Otherwise they lose millions. They've got to release it. But regards to anybody invested in a new Harry Potter build, no, they'll probably look at what's going on at the moment and think, actually, we'll pass on that one. So I don't think you're going to see the Hogwarts Express. I just don't, because I think too much has happened. I might be wrong, and I hope I am, because it's one I'd actually like to build. But no, it's been too long, man. I mean, that thing was trialed in, what, 2020? It's 2023, and we've heard nothing. I think if anything was going to happen, they'd trial it again. It must get... I would imagine another trial would happen before they release it. They'd be like, okay, let's test the waters and see what's happening here. So who knows? Who knows? Another trial of it might turn up, but then you look at everything on Hachette's release table, and you think, well, where's that going to fit in? The amount of stuff that's coming from Hachette that we know about, it makes you wonder where they'd shoehorn in a Hogwarts Express as well. But I don't know. Sorry, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I think I am. I think that's it. I don't think you're going to see a Hogwarts Express. I just don't. Sad, but I think that's the situation we're in. Speaking of trials, both trials have now come to an end over at Hachette. So the U-boat trial has come to an end. I was signed up to that, and they sent me a free gift. They sent me yet another screwdriver set. I don't want it, but I've got it. But that trial has now come to an end. Whether that goes to full run, I don't know. And then the other trial that came to an end was the Batman. So the giant Batman figurine that they've been trialing, that has now come to an end as well. That does have a full release in France. So France are on issue 6 at the moment. Now, if we go on the same principle of what they've done with Alien, I would imagine you'll see Batman, if it gets a full run, January. I think it'll be a January release. I can't see it being this year with what else they've got to come out. I mean, they've already released the Tumbler this year. They've just released the Alien. We know they're releasing the Lancaster Bomber this year. That's 3. Maybe Batman this year. I reckon he'll be in January. I think he'll be January's big release for them. That's what I think. I might be wrong, but that's just what I think if he gets a full release. I don't know how popular it's been. I don't know how popular it's been in France. There's been a lot of... He has got a weird face. Let's be honest. It's got a weird face. But I don't know. We'll see. I hope it does, because I know a lot of people want to build it. So I don't. Again, it's not one for me. But I know a lot of people do want to build it. So I kind of hope they get what they want. I hope they get to build that one. Agora have been teasing a release as well. They've been teasing what I think is safe to say is a helicopter. It's just a question of which one. Is it the Apache? Is it the Chinook? Is it Airwolf? I wouldn't have thought it was Airwolf, but it might be. We'll see. But that's being removed from Agora. We've heard nothing on James Bond yet from them. So beyond the initial hype on Christmas Day, we've heard nothing out. Christmas Eve, we've heard nothing else from Agora on Bond yet. But I would imagine that's got to be soon. I would imagine they're going to get Optimus Prime launched out the way, and then maybe some Bond hype. And we'll see on that one. What have we been watching? We've been watching The Last of Us. We watched episode 8, which is the penultimate episode of The Last of Us. And man, it's just so good. I keep saying it. If you want to watch a fantastic show, cannot recommend The Last of Us enough. It's so good. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's fantastic. And episode 9 airs next week, which is the last episode. And I'm going to be sad to see it go, man. I'm going to be really sad to see it go. But that's all we've been up to. That and packing up our home. That's it. So that's about all from me. You can contact us at buildwiththeboys@outlook.com. If you haven't yet, remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Thank you to everybody that's subscribed so far. It's overwhelming the support you show for the channel, and all the positive messages that you send us. We love reading your emails, and we do have an Ask Me Anything coming up this Sunday where you can literally ask me anything. So you can send me a question via email, just title it Ask Me Anything. We're going to put them all in a bowl. I'm going to answer them. It can be anything at all. It can be, what's your favourite model? Do you want to know about this? What's this? What's this? What's that thing on the shelf? What's the deal with your hair? Anything. And I'll be happy to answer. That's all from me. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. And I will see you very soon, hopefully, for Titanic and Tumbler. I'll catch you next time.